Hey there, everyone. Do you ever feel like you don't fit in? Well, I'm here to talk about that today because I feel like that all the time. First of all, I've been outside, so I'm probably hot and sweaty and doing stuff outside with the animals and everything. But I got a comment today on one of my YouTube videos, and it was pretty nasty. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to talk about this because this is a lot of stuff or this is one thing that a lot of people don't talk about, and I'm going to talk about it because it annoys me. For one thing, I would be lying if I said that the comment didn't bother me for about 2 seconds. It didn't bother me for too much longer than that. It bothered me only for 2 seconds because that is my natural instinct, is to get bothered by stuff like that. Um, for so long, I tried to people please and to make everybody happy. And that is it's not feasible. It's not feasible at all. If whether you're on social media and you're in front of a lot of people like I'm doing right now, or whether you're just in your community or wherever you are, you're always going to have people that dislike you. And I'm not stupid. I know that a lot of people don't like what I have to say, and that's okay. Um, but for a long time, I let that bother me and I let it stifle me. So if you have ever felt like you don't fit in, that's okay because I don't either. And honestly, you're not supposed to. Us as Christians aren't supposed to fit in this world. And we're automatically in some circles are going to be hated just because of who we are. Um, as Christians. But of course, there are other reasons why people hate me, and I'm okay with that. But being a recovering people pleaser, it will always be with me. I will always wonder, like, or always be triggered by it in some way, and for a split second, I will get a little bit hurt by it. But as quickly as it came, it quickly goes these days too, because I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I'm okay with that. What bothers me the most about this world is that people have to tell you, especially whenever you don't answer, or I mean, you don't ask. This particular person, and I'll be glad to out them because I don't play games like this. PXL_fearless says, shut up, you're not even funny. It was under one of my funny, quote unquote, short little shorts that were on YouTube. And, I may not be funny to some people, I may be hilarious to other people, but I am actually want to speak to those people who do get a good laugh out of it, because I like a good laugh. Whether I'm funny or not, I just don't understand why people have to actually say those kind of things, because I really don't care. If you don't think I'm funny, then good. Don't watch. Move on. And it's like YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, everything. It's just like your TV at home. If you don't like it, turn it off. Now, I know in real life, you can't necessarily do that all the time. You can't turn off everyone. There are certain people in your life that you can't physically turn them off. Um, but, you can do things to stay away or to protect your anxiety, to protect yourself and from the toxicity, because that's all it is. I could easily go on to this person's YouTube channel. I almost did, almost went over there and was like, well, what is this person even about? More than likely, it could have been a bot. I don't know. But I was like, you know what? I really don't care. I don't care what they're all about. All that I know is that I'm not their cup of tea, and that's okay. I don't know why I needed to know that, but whatever. Um, but my whole point here with this is that you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. You're not going to be liked by everybody, and you're not going to fit in. Um, I felt like I haven't fit in for a very long time. I don't fit into a box. I'm a homeschool mom, but I'm not a normal homeschool mom. I'm a Christian, but I'm not a normal Christian. I, am a farm mom, but I'm not a normal farm mom. I love Disney, but I'm not a normal Disney fan. I mean, there's always something, no matter what. And people don't always do this on purpose, but they put you into a box. If you say, I'm a Christian, they put you into this box automatically. I'm a gun supporter, they put you into this box automatically. So by those boxes that people have put me in, I haven't, you know, talked or been as transparent as I said that I was, especially whenever I started this here on social media several years back. I always said I'm very transparent. I will always tell you the truth. And I do tell the truth, but I wasn't always as transparent as I could have been. And then I said that I was. I didn't show all the time my uh, behind the scenes and how it got there. I would tell people, like, oh, yeah, there's a big old fat mess in the background to get this picture. I had to put everything to the side. And, but then I started showing those kind of things because people don't believe it. They want to see it. They want to know that they are normal, whatever normal is. Also, I was still trying to, in some ways, especially at the beginning and up until probably a year ago. I've gone through a lot of growing and processing and all that kind of stuff. And once I grew, I realized that I wasn't speaking on the things that were that were me, because I was afraid of getting attacked. I was afraid of people challenging me. I was afraid of a lot of that. I wouldn't say so much challenging me because I only talk about the things that I really feel very strongly about. But it's still, I don't like conflict. And so I don't want to feed into the conflict either. So automatically, in some ways, I would think, okay, well, if I post this about a gun, it's going to feed a conflict, or it's going to make some people very angry. And I don't want to do that because I don't want to deal with the repercussions. I don't want to deal with my algorithm going down on my social media account or whatever. I don't want to deal with the hate. And I would just stay away from it. But now um, I'm growing and I'm learning that I don't have to be something else. Yes, the algorithm can go down on my Instagram, my Facebook, my YouTube, my whatever. And yes, this is my livelihood. And there's a fine line there. But you can take my algorithm away, but you can't take who I am away. You can take, some of my clients away or whatever the case may be, but you can't take my love for God away. You can't take who I am and who I'm proud to be now. I'm 42 years old and I've been through hell and back. Are there things that I need to fix? Yeah, everybody needs to fix certain things. But for the most part, these scars that I have on the inside, the outside, the zit that I even have on my on my nose, I got it for a reason. And I have stories behind each one of them. Maybe not my zit. Well, I know I do have a story behind my zit because I didn't wash my face very good the other night. So here we are. This is the repercussions of it. But the one thing that stands so true with me all the time is that, yes, I've had a hard time with certain things, but I have a testimony and I'm going to tell it because that's what God wants me to do. So it doesn't matter about the algorithm. It doesn't matter about who doesn't like you. It doesn't matter about those nasty comments because deep down inside, I know that I don't have anything to prove to them. I only have to prove myself to God. Um, so I'm not saying that I don't struggle with it sometimes. Just like I said earlier with this comment, I used it as an example because my I automatically went to, oh, that kind of brought me down for 2 seconds. But then I was like, no, we passed that. We are not talking about, we're not going there. I don't care what these people think. And, you got to move on. But, that's a habit of mine that where I automatically want to draw in and go, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore. But no, 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 we're not going there. So if you are someone who feels like you do not fit in, don't let the world bring you down, because God made you the way that you are for a reason. And if you're seeking Him and you're asking Him for guidance, then He's going to lead you. He's going to protect you. He's got all of it. He's got it all planned out for you. You just have to trust Him. Um, so yeah, if you feel like you don't fit in, it's okay. I don't either. None of us should. None of us should. I read this somewhere and I wish I knew where. I need to go back through my phone and see where I read it, but I did a screenshot of it. It said the problem with trying to fit in is it's seeking joy in all the wrong places. When you're trying to fit in with the world and you're not trying to fit in with God, you're seeking joy from the world and you're not trying to seek joy from God. And joy comes from God. Um, happiness comes and goes, but joy is deep down in your soul and it comes from God. When you start feeling like this, I found some Bible verses too of what the Bible says about this. Luke 6:26, what sorrow awaits you who are praised by the crowds, for their ancestors also praised false prophets. Um, what sorrow awaits you who are praised by the crowds, for their ancestors also praised false prophets. Talking about the world right now. In the world in Bible days, it's no different now than it was then. The crowd, being praised by the crowd, is not always what it's cracked up to be, because those people were praising, and we're all human. We all praise the wrong people at times. So that is why we don't need the praise from the crowds. We don't need the praise from the worlds. We need praise from God. And He made you. He made you perfect in His own image. So He's going to praise you. You are His creation. James 4:4, you unfaithful people, don't you know that love for this evil world is hatred toward God? Whoever wants to be a friend of this world is an enemy of God. So I want it to be very clear what this means. This does not mean you can't love your neighbor and you can't love the people in this world. James is talking about right here. He's talking about the world in general, the whole world. You can't give your all to the world and expect to give your all to God too. You've got to choose, because this world is not going to be here for eternity, but God will be. John 15:18-20. If the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first. If you belong to the world, it would love you as its own. As it is, you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of the world. That is why the world hates you. Remember what I told you, a servant is not greater than his master. If they persecuted me, they will persecute you also. If they obeyed my teaching, they will obey yours also. So you have to remember that this is not just a fight with flesh and blood. It's also it's the evil of this world. And you've got to remember that if the world hates you, keep in mind He hated him first. They hated him first. Matthew 10:22. And all nations will hate you because you are my followers, but everyone who endures to the end will be saved. So, you know, I don't know how else to explain that. That pretty much just explains it right there. And all nations will hate you because you are my followers, but everyone who endures to the end will be saved, saved from all eternity. And, you know, I don't know about you, but I'm not necessarily at this age worried about, and I'm saying at this age because I've learned a lot. In the past, I was more worried about the people around me and what they thought. Now I worry more about what God thinks of me. And, you know, because I'm his follower, we're all going to be our buttons are going to be pushed. We're going to, I mean, that there's no other way to explain it. Your buttons are going to be pushed. People are going to try to push you off the cliff and try to provoke you and get you to do the wrong thing. So you have to just remember that this is all about not right now, but eternity. It's about, you know, are you going to be saved from the pits of hell? Are you going to go into eternity with God, with Jesus at the right hand of the throne? I mean, that's what it comes down to. I think that was the only one that I had, but yeah. So I just wanted to give you a bit of encouragement. I know that there's probably going to be some hateful messages on here too, and I'll have to, you know, go through my steps of every time a hateful message comes through and, you know, and pray through it and just know that, you know, if you have struggled with this and it's gotten easier as you've gone on to not care about what the world does, you know, kudos to you, but just know that it's still going to hurt sometimes because you're human and that's okay. Just because we pray about something, we can't just totally move on and just act like it's not going to happen anymore. And we're not going to have those feelings again. Our brains automatically go back to wanting to have those feelings again. So you have to pray through and push through and keep learning. So that's okay. Just because you pray for something, it's not one and done. Most of the time, you got to keep praying for it and keep praying for guidance and, you know, about that situation. And this one is no different. So just remember, if you are looking to fit into the world, you are following Jesus, you know, and you have different beliefs than the world, no matter what they are, just know you are going to be ridiculed. But take it as a good thing, because honestly, if you are hated, you're doing something right. So, I mean, seriously, if you're hated and people feel like they have to have or say nasty comments about you all the time, obviously you're doing a little bit right. But just pray through. So on that note too, as things progress with my social media outlets, whether it's YouTube, my YouTube channel is not very big right now. We kind of just started really pushing it a little bit in the past few months this year. But you'll also see more things that are more me on Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that. I am a gun owner. I, you know, am a homeschooler and I homeschool my kids, and I'm an entrepreneur, and I do a lot of things that a lot of people don't really agree with. I'm a Christian too. So I know for a fact by just talking about my own insecurities, you know, in the past, I've had a hard time talking about guns on social media. Well, this is just a prime example. I never talked about it. And then one day I decided I'm going to talk about it, because if women want to be empowered to shoot a gun, I want to empower them to use it the right way and to do what they need to do, but to use it the right way. So if you've ever watched me on Instagram stories, you know that if I ever post anything about a gun, of course, I'm also talking about how to use it the right way, and also trying to empower women to use them. If they would like to. Um, so, I'm just using that as an example, because that was one of those things that I wouldn't post about a lot, because I was like, you know what? I don't want to start a war. I don't want people to start a war in comments. I don't want people to say nasty things. And I don't want to have to feel like, this was the kicker right here. I never wanted to feel like I had to defend myself, by saying, but I'm posting this because, I want women to feel empowered, but I'm posting this because I want them to have, um, a good sense of what they're doing. And I'm posting this because I want to educate, that kind of thing. And then it's like I heard as clear as day from God saying, you don't owe anybody anything except for me. You don't owe them an explanation. So whenever I got to that point and realized I don't owe anybody an explanation for what I do except for God. And if he's okay with it, then I'm okay with it. I don't owe you I'm just saying you hypothetically, I don't owe you anything. And you don't owe anybody an explanation either. Also, I was a, recovering people pleaser here. I would always say yes to things that I didn't want to do. And then I realized the power of no. No is a sentence by itself. No, period. If you're anything like me, I would say no, because I've got to go and da 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 da. But now I've learned I don't owe anyone an explanation for what I do. So no, thanks for the invite. I'll probably say thank you because that's just who I am. But no, thanks though. That's a sentence. No, period. So just know that your joy is going to come from God and seeking Him. Happiness may come and go, a little bit here and there through the world, but your pure joy that comes from deep down in your soul comes from God. And I think I would much rather have that than making the masses happy. And a lot of that has come from just learning and seeking Him through it. And so anyway, I just wanted to come on here and just give you some encouragement, because to just let you know that we all go through stuff like this and you're not alone with this. But you don't have to be liked by everybody. You don't have to fit in everywhere, because you're never going to. And if you keep trying to seek that, it's a hard road to go down, because you're never going to reach that. You're never going to have everybody that likes you. You're just not. So yeah, but just know that I love you. Even the ones that are commenting nasty things, I love you. God loves you. And just stop trying to make the masses happy, because it's not going to. So from here on out, you're going to see probably more gun stuff. You're probably going to see more homeschool stuff. You're probably going to see more of the things that a lot of people don't really like. But you know what? I mean, tomorrow I could post about my meatloaf and somebody may say something about that too. So, I mean, it's always going to be something. So just do you, do it well, and seek God through it and pray through, because I love you and so does everyone else. Well, I love you and so does God is what I meant. I didn't mean so does everyone else, because that's what this whole video was about. Anyway, everyone else should love you though. but it's not going to always be like that. So, anyway, now I'm rambling. I hope this helped you in some way. So, I'm going to leave you with a question and comment below. Do you ever feel like you don't fit in? Or have you ever felt like that in other times of your life? And if you did and you don't anymore, how did you overcome it? Share with us so we can all um, push forward together, because that's what we need to be as a Christian community, is to help each other and show each other, hey, you know, I got through this and this is how I got through this. Maybe this will help you. So on that note, maybe I hope these Bible verses will help you. I hope you, knowing that I've been through it, still go through it sometimes too now. I hope it helps you, and I hope it encourages you to be the best disciple of God that you know how to be, and not be a disciple of this world. So I love you all dearly. I pray for each one of you. If you need prayer too, please put it in the comments as well. I would love to pray with you. You don't have to say what it's about. Just say I need prayer, and I'll be right there standing in the gap with you. Also, go to my faith favorites. I have a page on my website where you can go and see all of my favorites that I have, from devotionals to kids Bibles, a study Bible that I absolutely love, that would maybe help you grow in your walk with God. So love you all dearly, and I will see you next time.